basically, I'll tell you a story from the very beginning.
Okay.
More than a year ago, I made my mind to move to Canada for family reasons and for other professional reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Professional reasons like I was working in a research environment. I loved it, and I like it was like really doing world-class research. But I felt like myself more into the industry than the research, and this is why I thought about like moving to back to the industry to one of the software companies. Um, so yeah, I mean, I started like exploring the 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 market and finding like what other options they have, and I found that Canada is a great place to move to,
Mm-hmm.
especially the tech industry here is like really rich, being close to the states and the Silicon Valley
Mm-hmm.
and Waterloo especially is like a tech hub, a new tech hub. You Waterloo like great candidates, like great graduates, and they are really technically strong. So they establish a lot of startups. Uh, I've had like a place here that's great for good careers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they got a nice vision. Um, so yeah, I mean, I started applying to many uh, companies, but unfortunately, the main obstacle that the candidate is gonna face is basically like you need to have some sort of work permit to be able to start and join. They always like it makes sense that it's prefer to have local candidates, especially that they are like right beside you Waterloo, University of Waterloo. Um, and they don't want to go through the hassle. Like recruiters don't want to go through the hassle of issuing work permit and dealing with the immigration.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a big obstacle whenever I apply to any company. Uh, my profile is good, and I know my skills is good, and so I mean the only obstacle was like, yeah, sorry, like, we need a work permit. If you need to have a work permit, otherwise my chances are really narrow. Uh, so I kept that thing for 6 months until one of my friends told me about. He was contacted by Global Skills Hub,
Mm-hmm.
um, and he told me about the Global Skills Hub there. Those guys that are matching the external candidates with the local market, and so I contacted Yusuf. I sent him my resume and said like, yeah, I'm interested. If you guys that can help me to find my next employer, that would be great. Um, and yeah, like few days later, I found Louisa contacting me. We had like a nice conversation about like who I am, who I want, and my plans and what they provide, the service they provide.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that really sounds good. So I had like a bunch of meetings with the team. And the good thing that Global Skills Hub did is that they didn't do random matching like what recruiters. Like basically, you upload your CV somewhere, and then there is a recruiter who checks your resume and say, yeah, this looks like a good candidate. Let's approach him or her. Uh, the, the 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 bad thing with this approach is that you you don't trust, you don't guarantee that this candidate is honest about what he wrote in the CV or in his
Mm-hmm.
resume. So you start like wasting time checking, a bunch of skills and experience, and you have no idea whether this is what the recruiter is looking for.
Yeah.
And so they are very picky choosing which candidates to proceed with. And the good thing with Global Skills Hub is they have this bunch of meetings to build your right profile, the correct profile that we can later match with recruiters. Um, Let me tell you about the recruiter perspective and Global Skills Hub perspective and the candidate perspective. From
Okay.
my side, I don't wanna, as a candidate, I didn't wanna waste my time with like many recruiters like contacting me and telling me, okay, so are you interested in this position? Yes. So okay, I'll apply, and then oh, you don't have work permit, sorry. So I waste a lot of time and I get frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the other side. From the recruiter perspective, uh, they don't want to waste their time approaching the wrong candidates, people who like write anything in their resumes, and then when you start asking them questions about their skills, they find it's gone. There is nothing. It's just like we're lying, basically.
Yep.
So I mean, one tip for candidates, like try to, I mean, pay so much attention in writing your resume. It's not about the length. actually, I stood in both positions. I am a candidate, I was a candidate, and I was also a recruiter for many places that I worked for. And I'm not impressed by the long CV at all, especially if the candidate has like 3, 4 years of experience and send me like 2, 3 pages resume. I mean, how come you got how come you got like 4 pages resume? You should be very concise, brief, and mention the for high level your skills and your work experience, and try to sell yourself. Write in your CV what the recruiters are looking for. And then when the recruiter captures this point or this what they are looking for, they will contact you and ask you to elaborate on your skills. So yeah. So what from Global Skills Hub perspective, they will build a reputation on as much candidates as they manage to connect from the external pool with the local employer. So they are interested. They are like really keen on knowing your actual skills, like the correct set of skills that you have, and deliver this to the recruiters and make sure that the recruiters really need this kind of skills. This process, this middle step is really crucial. It saves us a lot of hassle, saves recruiters and candidates a lot of hassle. So this is why I appreciate your efforts. It's a win-win for win-win actually. Everybody wins. But yeah, I agree. Like so, what happened? Like I contacted Yusuf. Yusuf put me in contact with Riza, and then I went to another like couple of interviews, not interviews, like meetings or discussions. I told them about my skills, they built my profile, and then one day I got contacted by I think Ivana or Louisa, I don't remember. And then yeah, they asked me like, we have interested in your profile, would you like to proceed? Honestly, I felt I have heard this a lot before. So we'll just say yes and see what's gonna happen. I didn't take it so serious until the actual interview started. And in the first interview, like, it's funny. In the first interview, I told them like, guys, please, like, just have in your mind that I don't have a work permit. You need to issue this to make the long story short. And then like, they said, yeah, we know that, like, and we are willing to do the immigration process. And I said like everything started brightening up, and wow, so this is getting real. And yeah, so, like, the interview started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 5 interviews. The first one was the recruiter herself. Second one was with I think the hiring manager, or I mean my potential manager. And then the next one was like some senior developers, technical interview, another technical interview, and third one was behavior interview. The fourth one was behavior interview with the head of engineering, and then yeah, I got the offer after like I think 5.
So can I have a question? Can I have a question before you continue? Because you gave us a lot of insights, and it's interesting for me because you look at it from a very unique perspective. You've had a lot of interesting experiences, and you fully understand the process and how it looks, which is usually not the case for most candidates. So I'd like to know which part of this process, whether applying with Global Skills Hub and kind of joining the community, or interviewing other companies, which part of it to you was the biggest challenge, and what was that challenge for you?
Okay, like I'd say like both are challenges, but the bigger challenge is the application. Like trying to get my application to one of the recruiters and convince them to start actually initiate the recruitment process. Because like, as I mentioned, the main obstacle is to like convince someone, yeah, guys, I'm good. I worked really at handling the work permit things and hassle. And yeah, like I couldn't myself do this step, which was like the big challenge. But once I'm past this point, I already started the recruitment process. It was a challenge, but honestly, I was kind of confident that, like, yeah, I mean, I can get this position. I mean, my experience and my skills qualifies me to fill this position. So that process, these technical interviews and behavioral interviews, if you're good guys, you can meet it. Don't worry. Let me tell you another something that's really cool about that recruitment process. There is big element of it.
So basically, if I understand correctly, the biggest challenge was actually getting your foot in the door, right? Like getting that initial buy-in from the company or the employer's side to kind of notice you maybe more than other candidates because they might have a lot of candidates. Notice you and kind of push you through the process. Is that how you would describe it?
Yeah, getting connected with the recruiters so that they can start the recruitment process. This is the biggest challenge ever. Of course, for external candidates, not for local external candidates. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, regarding that, if you are guys like the candidates are applying for a position, like generally speaking, and you are scared about the recruitment process, or the technical interviews are hard, and I'm scared. Let me tell you something. Never get frustrated when you're rejected from a position. Again, thank you so much for your time. This cliche. Don't ever get frustrated because there is big element of luck in recruitment. All recruitment processes. Sometimes you're good, but it wasn't just like your day. Like you didn't screw up in the interview not because you're not good, but because you weren't lucky enough to make it through. Of course, there is foundation that you are technically good. If you are not good, you'll never get any position. So yeah, you have to make sure that you have the correct set of skills that qualifies you for this position. Let's say, for example, if you're applying for a server developer position and you had zero server development experience, don't convince me that no matter how many times you apply or where you apply, you will never get this, because simply like they're gonna ask you a few questions and they will for sure realize that like you have zero experience. So the foundation, make sure that you have the right set of skills. Apply for the right position. Don't randomly apply everywhere. You're gonna waste your effort. Second is to be lucky. Yeah, again, like luck is a big factor. Why? Because sometimes, as I mentioned, you apply, you're good, but you will maybe sick. You were just somehow distracted. They ask you about like really corner kids that you never touched in your career. So there are like other many factors that control. So if you have the foundation, the right set of skills, and you are lucky, you will get the offer. That's it. And in the middle, this matching to so you have that foundation, the skill, and then you need to be matched with the right employer, the right recruiter that have exactly that they are looking exactly for the set of skills that you have. If there is someone who can help you in the middle, that will be awesome. Because recruiters are not the right person to help you with that. Recruiters are mainly they're looking from their own perspective, not from your perspective. So, and this is like basically what global skills hub is, this layer in the middle, who have it looks at from both sides, like from the recruiter side and from the candidate side, and they can say, oh yeah, I see like this set of skills really matches what these guys are looking for, and let's help them together.
Okay, makes sense. So, kind of, if I wanted to wrap up kind of the points that you give me, this is kind of interesting because this is the first time that like you're answering the questions and I'm kind of taking notes from what you said. So to wrap up, from your experience, what works is number one, well, of course you need to apply, right? You need to apply to a lot of positions. There's a lot of luck factors involved. A lot of things have to align in the universe, for a perfect match to happen. Sometimes, things are not at the right moment on both sides. So I think
I'd say number one, make sure that you are good at what you do.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, yes. Yeah, that's a great point, right? Like that's probably a given point that everyone should consider, is that are you actually, you have the skills that are required for this job, or are you imagining that you will acquire them at some point, right? So there's clear definitions of what is expected,
It has
right?
have essential implications for this. So if you are not good, still you don't like just give up and stay home. No, you would go study, take courses, watch tutorials. I mean, learn, teach yourself how to like be good. So if you're not good, that's not the end of the story. No, you can be good. So this is why I'm emphasizing this point, because some kind of say that I don't have this skills. Let's stay home and this is my destiny. No, you still have a chance to upgrade yourself.
Do you have any recommendations for sources that you use to train, or you had other colleagues or friends maybe use to kind of upskill themselves, improve the gaps they felt? Anything that you would be able to recommend to our community?
So it's a trade-off. There is like the easy way and there's the hard way. In our community learning, the best thing is to work on something like practically, like the right code. This is the best way to learn. Like make your hands dirty with the code. So with this, how to do this? Like join any open source project and try to learn on the row how to contribute to open source projects. This is the best way, but it's hard because usually open source community are like really highly skilled, and to catch up with them, you will need to put in a lot of effort and spend a lot of time to cope with them. The other way is to like watch online courses, search Google, go through tutorials. You still have to code yourself to reach the qualified level that recruiters are looking for. You have to write code in this area, in this particular area that you are looking for. All right. So yeah, I mean, there's no excuse. Everything's out there. There are like a lot of courses, online courses on Coursera, Udemy, Udacity. Like there are a lot of courses that you can take courses in all areas. There is no single area that's not covered by courses. I mean, this makes sense because currently it's business. This is why like a lot of people are hopping in and making online courses. So yeah, online courses, tutorials. You would never say like I couldn't find resources for this thing. At least go read the documentation for the library or the framework that you wanna learn.
Yep. Okay. Very good. So we discussed a lot about kind of your process, your experience applying, how GSH helped you, and kind of the role they played, the entire team played in kind of moving you through this process and helping you kind of find the perfect match, and then all the preparation and everything kind of involved in making sure that you're actually the right person. So making sure that you have the right skills, applying to a lot of jobs, all these points that you've learned from this experience. But I'm also, and I know this because this is kind of an issue that comes up a lot in our community. A lot of the conversations we have is regarding kind of the whole relocation process, right? So you started, tell us a little bit about where you're from, your life there, and then what was the transition like? Like, what happened when you knew that you were going to Canada? Had you made a decision to move before? Tell us a little bit about kind of your background and relocation history.
Sure. So I was based before coming to Canada. I was based in Qatar, in the Middle East. It's a little country in the Arab Peninsula. They're gonna host the next World Cup, by the way. So I was based there. I was working for Qatar Foundation, Qatar Complete Research Institute. So it's a research environment, and yeah, well, I like the place so much. So if I got a chance, I would love to stay there for good. But as I mentioned earlier, there got like other considerations, like family reasons. Like my family already moved here, so I needed to move as well. So this was the main motivation to move, and of course the immigration process. And so I have been procrastinating for a while, like loving my life in Qatar. I've been saying like, okay, let's like delay for 1-2 more years or so. And then I said like maybe these family reasons which is the main driving force for me to start like the process. And then yeah, like I got the offer, and then things started materializing. I said, wow, so it really is. I applied for the work permit. It took like 4 months to issue the work permit. 4 months, including the time I took to prepare my documents, because like I needed to take a lot of time to the police clearance from Egypt. I had to travel especially to issue it, and a lot of documents from Qatar, and my certificates and attestations, and many procedures that I had to take to like get my set of documents. It's really a lot of documents, by the way, like huge stack of documents. And then yeah, like the work permit just took like 1.5 months to issue. And then once I had it, I was planning to move end of February, but my employer kept wanted to rush it a little bit, which put me under so much pressure to finalize my things and cancel my residency in Qatar and ship all my stuff to Qatar. I mean, the last couple of days for traveling was really hectic. But yeah, I made it through. Like it's just like a few days, and then everything is gone, and all this hassle is gone, and then things settle down. Coming here to Canada, I was excited. I met my family. I was shocked by the weather. coming from the.
You came at a bad time, unfortunately. You kind of.
Actually, I came 2 weeks after this polar vortex, so I was lucky that my visa was delayed a little bit. So I didn't witness the 40 degrees. I witnessed only minus 13, which was still a shock. Because like yeah, I'm coming from a place, the hottest place in the world, to the coldest place in the world. So if you know about pasteurization, I was literally pasteurized. Pasteurization is how like they prepare milk for the consumers. So anyways, yeah, I mean I came here and then started to like the paperwork, setting stuff up and settling down, which took it's still ongoing, so I haven't got my driving license yet. But I got a lot of items from my settle down checklist checked already.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, there is a good progress. Everything has a process. It's all organized. So you want to do something, the process is like that. You have to prepare the documents and go through the process smoothly. It takes time, but it will be done eventually. So yeah, people here are friendly. That's so nice, are friendly, helping. So I guess, yeah, it just takes some time to get to know your people, especially that it's a whole new culture, it's another language. I mean, the whole atmosphere is different than what you have been witnessing for the rest of life. For your whole life. So yeah, I mean, there is progress, yeah, good progress, but I think I still like need maybe 1-2 more months. I started building my new network, professional network and social network. Social network, I don't mean Facebook, but I mean social. My friends and the communities, connected communities like running and soccer. Yeah, another thing is that Qatar was a small country, so going anywhere within Qatar was like it takes like most 2 hours. Here I can keep traveling for like 48 hours and still like driving. So yeah, I can easily drive for 48 hours to reach.
Okay. That's good.
That's really it. Yeah, professionally in my work environment, I'm yeah, getting used to my new work, my new job. The thing is that I'm dealing currently with a whole new set of technologies and platforms. So I do a lot of reading, learning tutorials, as I told you guys. You still can do this from now. You don't need to wait until you get your new job. So yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy. Things are getting better and settling down. So yeah.
That's good. How does your day look like? Like, can you tell us a little bit about like a work week? What does it look like? What are the things that usually happen? Give us a bit of a view of your work life.
Firstly, the weekend in Qatar is Friday and Saturday. Here it's Saturday, Sunday, so it's kind of a bit of a difference. Uh, so week starts Monday. So usually my typical day is like start waking up a bit early, maybe 6 a.m. Then yeah, shower and get to the. I walk actually to work. I took an Airbnb house for like temporary until I get my own apartment. I walk like 1.5K every morning.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not much, but I mean, actually, it's like 15 minutes.
But like every morning, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, forth and back. It's fine. Like, yeah, it's a bit of sports good. A bit of exercising.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I come here in the office, get my coffee, of course. They have coffee machine, nice coffee machine. I get my cappuccino and then sit at my desk, keep working. Then they serve lunch at 12. And then yeah, I keep working. And usually I have to run an errand in the afternoon, finish some paperwork. Or, yeah. Then yeah, like, sometimes I keep working till 6 p.m., sometimes 7 p.m. And then they have a gym here, so I finish and get to the gym, spend 1 hour in the gym, then get back home. This is the family time. My family are currently located based in Montreal, so I call them and yeah, spend some time calling them until they relocate here. So yeah, this is my typical day. In the weekend, usually I do a lot of reading. I don't have a car yet. I don't have a driving license yet, so I cannot move a lot. But when it changes, definitely I will be looking around the city, trying to find what's going on, what's happening. Yeah, weekends are basically reading, maybe watching some Netflix for entertainment. Yeah, reading because basically reading the driving rules from the driver's manual, the driving license manual. Because and yesterday I passed the G1 test, which is the first step towards having a driving license, a full driving license. So yeah, good progress. But yeah, that's it.
Nice. Well, it sounds like you're settling in, and I'm happy that that's happening quite quickly. You seem to feel quite at home and comfortable there, at least from your tone and kind of your day to day. It looks like you're already on track. So that's really good. I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I know you're busy and have a lot of things going on, and but I do always like to ask kind of two final questions. First, I'd like to know if you have any. I mean, you have already mentioned a lot of great insights, but what kind of advice would you like to pass on to fellow candidates who are walking in your shoes at the moment and looking forward to being in your shoes very quickly? What would you pass on to them?
Well, if it's only one advice, I would say never give up. There is always a chance. Never get frustrated because, as I mentioned, there is this element of luck. So yeah, keep trying. Don't waste any chance. And yeah, one day it's gonna work. This is like to sum everything up. This is like the digestion of all my experiences with this process. This is what I. If you want to say like another point, I would say work hard and be good and confident on your skills. And yeah, trust me, like, recruiters will run after you. If you're good, that's so everyone want to take you. That's it.
Makes sense.
And that you upgrade your skills. Try to learn new tools. Always like up to date with the new technologies. And yeah, this is like an very important factor. Yeah, I think like those are the most important piece of advice that I can give to the community. And yeah, wish you all the best of luck. Yeah, I mean, stay good up to date. And yeah, and I like really thanks for Global Skills Hub for giving me this great chance.
I mean, it was your own efforts. Our job is just to make sure that your efforts are noticed and just make sure the right people see you and connect with you and kind of follow up and make sure that all that happens. And everything is kind of in order and everything's taken care of, especially on the difficult immigration stuff. So that's kind of our piece, but it's obviously it's your own efforts and your skills and your ability to demonstrate them and connect with other humans to be able to share what you know. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to work with you. Final question, what are you looking forward to, Abdu?
Oh yeah, mainly settling down. Canada is gonna be my home. So settling down means get back to my normal life, having my family here, buying a house maybe, and eventually I would like to build my own startup, have my own startup, my own business.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm still currently in the phase of exploring the current market, and then maybe I don't know, maybe in a couple of years, 4 or 5 years, I'll be able to. I have like a better understanding of the market, and then can make my own business and my own startup. So I see Canada is a great place for conducting tech business and having startups. The government actually is encouraging people to bring more ideas, like try and have like startups, especially that the universities here have that we good programs and candidates are really strong, and this is the most valuable thing ever that the people. So they are trying to accommodate these skills and bring external high qualified candidates as well to enrich the local market, the local tech industry. So yeah, this is like my plan. It's subject to change, of course, depending on what I'm gonna face here. But this is mainly what I'm looking forward to, is to settle down, finish all the unfinished business, the paperwork and stuff, and having my family here and buying a house. And yeah, I mean, one of the things that I will actually do in the future is to establish a charity organization that gives scholarships to students, basically postgraduate students from the Middle East.
Okay.
I have to say that like big part of the misery this world is in is because of lack of education. I mean, a lot of bad things happen in this world because of lack of education. See, hunger, terrorism, many things happen because the people are not well educated. They cannot rationalize about simple things. And if you can provide this opportunity to the candidates who are really in need for that, I mean, that would be really nice. At least it have an impact on the world. And this means that I have to be very rich. I don't know. This like kind of, this is, I mean, of course, like a requirement to be rich to be able to provide this kind of scholarship. Funny, but yeah.
But why not? Why not?
Sure.
I'd be excited to see that day and hope that, who knows, maybe we can help you as well. I really believe in what you said about kind of being able to empower people with education and give back to kind of the global community and kind of get everybody on the same level. Why not, right? And I think education is one of those enablers. So I really like your vision, which I hope it comes true very, very soon, and you see it materialize as soon as possible. With that, Abdu, I'd like to thank you first of all for your time and the great conversation. We will be trying to kind of edit this into something digestible for our audience, and put it online. Maybe take some tips from things that you mentioned and share it with our community. I would also ask your permission if anyone has any questions for you. We might introduce them to you, if that's okay. If they have any specific questions about anything that they're worried about or they don't know. If it's a reasonable question, we'll try to connect them to you.
And whoever is going through the same, I would love to share my experience with them and help us much of it.
Thank you. And I wish you the best of luck, and I hope to see you, fulfilling your missions and getting to the things that you're planned out. Seems like you have it all figured out. So I'm excited to see you move forward, and I hope that we can send a lot more amazing people like you over to Canada and kind of build a great community. I'd love to have you involved in kind of inspiring a lot of these people, because I think the potential is there for so many people. Maybe it's just the last few miles that's really difficult, and we're here to help with that. And you're a great example of that. So I think your story is inspiring, and we hope to be able to share it with a lot of people. Again, thank you, and I hope everyone enjoyed this talk. Wish you a great day, and hope to see you soon.